All right, let's dive in. Today, we're going to unpack the incredible power that's hiding in just two simple words. It's a concept you see every single day, probably without even thinking about it. But trust me, the meaning behind it goes way, way deeper than you'd expect.
So here it is, new note. And yeah, that's it. That's the entire source material for this whole explainer. I know, it looks like, well, like nothing, right? A simple placeholder. But believe it or not, inside those two little words, there's a whole universe of potential. This is the starting gun. It's that very first act of creation, of grabbing an idea out of thin air before it just, poof, disappears forever. So let's start by reframing what that empty space really is. It's not a void. It's a blank slate. It's pure, unfiltered possibility. That magical moment right before the story gets written, the plan gets made, or the idea really starts to take shape.
Which, brings me to a question for you. When you're staring at a blank page, a new document, what do you feel? Is it that buzz of excitement for everything it could become, or is it more like this heavy pressure, this voice in your head saying it has to be perfect? Your answer to that pretty much shapes your entire creative journey.
And really, it all comes down to these two ways of looking at it. On one side, you've got the intimidating void. It's a space that feels defined by what's missing, and that just piles on the pressure to be perfect from word one. But what if you just flip that perspective? See it as a field of potential, defined by everything that could be. All of a sudden, you've got freedom. The freedom to be imperfect, to explore, and to just get started.
Okay, so let's get practical for a minute. A new note isn't just some deep philosophical concept, it's an absolutely critical tool. It's how you actually capture those lightning-in-a-bottle ideas before they vanish. It's the ultimate placeholder. And a placeholder isn't a lazy first step. Not at all. It is a deliberate, strategic act. You're essentially creating a safe house for a brand new, unformed idea. It's you telling your brain, hey, I see this thought, I value it, and I promise I'll be back for it later. And this one simple act, it has some incredible benefits. Of course, it captures those fleeting thoughts and documents your raw observations, but it also reduces your cognitive load. You don't have to keep that idea spinning around in your head anymore. And maybe the most important thing it does is create a starting point. It takes an abstract idea from being just a puff of smoke in your mind and actually commits it to reality. So once that idea is captured and it's safe, the real work can begin. This is the drafting process. This is where we get to turn that tiny little fragment of a thought into something with real form, with real substance.
This metaphor is just perfect. Our new note is that single initial spark. It looks so small, maybe even insignificant, but it holds all the potential it needs to become a roaring fire, a completed project, a finished story, a solved problem.
The journey of an idea usually follows these three steps. It all kicks off with the fragment. That's our initial note. Then comes the expansion, where you start adding details, context, and connecting other thoughts. And finally, there's the refinement, where you shape all that raw material into something polished. That whole grand process, it all starts with one small, totally manageable step.
And this brings us to our final and maybe our most important point, celebrating that very first step. Because making that first mark, typing those first words, well, that requires a special kind of courage. 1. Everything starts with one step, one word, one note. In the very beginning, this is the only action that really matters, because it's the thing that breaks the inertia. It's the huge difference between just thinking about doing something and actually beginning. And that's really what's most important to remember here. The power isn't in the finished product. It's not in the polished essay or the flawless plan. The real power, the true magic of creation, is in that simple, brave decision to just begin.
So, to wrap this all up, we turn this back around to you. We've seen all the power locked inside this simple concept, from a blank slate all the way to a finished idea. So the only question left is, what idea are you holding back right now? What thought needs its own placeholder? What will your new note be?